you, Rohan. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon and a hearty welcome to you all. We are honored to have Dr. Sudesh amidst us today, and I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. On behalf of Economic Society, Department of Economics and Psychology of St. Xaviers College, Jaipur, I welcome you all to a very special day where we will be discussing about self-awareness. We will be starting the session in a few minutes. Uh, as most of the students have already joined, I think we should start the session.
Ma'am, shall we begin?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Generally speaking, to be self-aware is to know your strengths and weaknesses and to be able to understand yourself better. Being self-aware not only benefits us, but also the people around. Unfortunately, reflecting upon ourselves can be difficult at times. Keeping this in mind, the Department of Economics and Psychology at St. Xaviers College, Jaipur, has organized this interactive webinar which will hopefully encourage us to know ourselves better.
The resource person for today is Dr. Suresh NT, working as an assistant professor of psychology in Christ deemed to be University, Bangalore. He has completed 6 years as an assistant professor in higher education. He has published one book as editor under Sage Publications on character strength and development. He has published chapters in 3 edited books and has published 10 articles in national and international journals. He has 10 years of experience in life skills and soft skills training, corporate training, and community intervention programs. He has also worked as a supportive supervisor in GFATM Global Funds for AIDS, Tuberculosis, and Malaria project for 3 years under NG University, Kerala. He is currently holding the position as the president of IALSE, Indian Association of Life Skills Education, Bangalore. He is also the coordinator of Project Spandan, Life Skills Training and Psychosocial Rehabilitation of HIV-infected adolescents. On the behalf of the Department of Economics and Psychology, St. Xavier Jaipur, I extend a warm welcome to Dr. Suresh NT.
I now invite our esteemed guest, Dr. Sudesh, to address the students. And we have a Q&A section at the end, so kindly send us your questions through the chat box. Dr. Sudesh, over to you.
Thank you, Rohan, Suhani, and Kanishka for the introductions, and special thanks to Shiromi for the invite. I have planned this session as an interactive mode, so I have two platforms that is helping us to interact in a very peaceful manner, because listening me maybe it's too boring, because I know how students are actually sitting in front of the laptop for online classes. So instead of that, maybe I will give a little bit chance for you to interact with me through an online platform. So I'm using two softwares. One is the Slido. So whenever I'm asking you to enter some details in Slido, you can go to www. I will put it in the chat box. That's the easy way. So you can see that. www.slido.com. You can just open this one. You can use the chat box. I have entered www.slido.com. So you can click. Yes.
Sir, I'm seeing your Google Meet window, not your presentation window.
No, I have not started a presentation. Okay. I'm just putting it in the chat box. Okay, you can open either a new tab, or if you are using mobile phone, maybe you can go back to your web page and you can just put www.slido.com and open that page. It will looks like I will share that now. So you will get a page like this. Joining as a participant, there is a possibility to enter a code. I will share the code when I have the activity. That time you can enter the code. There will be a question. You have to answer the question. Hope you understood. Right. Someone please put it in the chat box. Yes, because it's very difficult to interact without any conversations. Okay. So at times, if you have any queries, you can put it in the chat box. I will answer the questions. And definitely, Shiromi ma'am told me to stay back after the presentation for question answer session. So you can keep your questions and we will discuss it in the end of the presentation. So I'm directly going to the presentation, and I hope you all are going to cooperate and engage with these activities. Okay. So it's visible, right? The slide is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Thank you. So I have made this presentation to understand individual in a very better way, and we usually use the term self-awareness, especially in psychology. This is something which is really relevant. And since I'm doing life skill training a lot, and I'm part of the life skill association, so we usually use this as a character strength, self-awareness, to understand or knowing yourself or ourselves in a better way. And I'm discussing few factors which is incorporating in self-awareness, and also how individuals are able to understand their strength and weakness in a elaborative way. And while you're talking about self-awareness, without ice-breaking sessions, it's very difficult to start a interactive session. So I would like to ask a question. You have to type your name with an adjective. This adjective is supposed to be a characteristics that you have possessed. And you can go to www.slido.com and you can use the code /33122. And with this activity, I will begin the session. Okay, I have not started yet, but I need your responses. Then I will start the session. You have to write your, yes, sensitive Shiromi. Very good. Rishi, where is the adjective? Are you able to put it in the slide, or are you getting? Yeah, come, Rohan. Yes. 3 people joined. Nervous Niranjan. Kyuk. Awkward Tarisha. Yukta, bold. If anyone is getting difficulty to join Slido, you can put it in the chat box. I will read it from the chat box. No issues. I will take maximum 2 minutes for this one. What about others? Only 6 people are here. Yes, it's coming. Yes. Understanding Palak, I'm Rohan, Lazy Nishta, Tanya Pavani Adorable, Awkward Tarisha. Damp Rishi. We have 1 more minute. Shampavi, growing, ambivert, powervi. Wow. Faithful Kaushal. Lacy Lokik. Trustworthy Tanushree. Determinant Suhani. Likable Lupavani. Determined Suhani, Happy Tanishka, Shining Gauri, Polite Muskan. 21 people entered their response. 22 people responded. I just wanted to know the group. That's why I just put it in this particular slide. Sometimes people will get difficulties to enter in Slido. So no issues. I just wanted few people just respond for this question. So we'll be able to understand how many of them are different kind of characteristics. So there are a lot of people as given in terms of growing, shining, trustworthy, term, likable, happy, determined, faithful, polite. So there are a lot of representation already there in the list. Anyway, I just wanted to go back to the slide and we will move to the session. So while you're talking about self-awareness, right, most of the people have a question, are you going to talk about ourself, right? Or are you going to talk about something which is related to the awareness is needed for an individual to sustain in this world? So while talking about knowing ourselves, you have to know what are the things which is happening in our body and mind, right? That is a conflict usually every individual is experiencing nowadays. Are you really comfortable to understand yourself is a matter, and how many of you are really spending time to understand yourself? Most of the time, as a human beings, we will look outward than inward, right? So if I'm asking some questions related to your characteristics, most of the people will get little difficulty to understand because we never given chance to understand ourselves, because most of the time we will look at others and we will try to understand other people than ourselves. So today we are going to talk about how we can able to understand ourselves and what are the strengths and weaknesses which is involved in our body and mind. So before beginning the session, I have three very prominent and famous quotes to discuss with you. With these quotes, I will start the importance of self-awareness or knowing ourselves. So the first quote from Vincent van Gogh. So everyone knows who is Vincent van Gogh. And great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. So whatever we are doing in our life, people will always think about, I have to do this one, I have to do this one, this is my goal, this is my dream. And I wanted to become a great clinical psychologist. I wanted to become there as a PhD scholar in a reputed institution. So we have a lot of things, right? And most of the things is happening in our life like an impulsive act, because how you are going to respond to the emotions which is happening each and every individual. But while you're talking about great things happen in the people's life, it is not happened by an impulse, right? Because they have a plan and they have planned a lot to make certain changes in their life. So that is the importance of understanding ourselves. Whatever we have and whatever strength we have, whatever weakness we have, we need to understand. And based on that, you need to plan accordingly. And then only we can able to reach in the heights of our life. So how we can reach and how we are able to understand these kind of characteristics need to be aware. And the second one is from Josh Billing. He is he's a great a scientist, and he did a very good research in gambling. Okay, and he mentioned that life consists not in holding good cards, but in playing those who hold well. And this particular quote I have striked from one of my favorite book, Heuristics and Biases, and written by Robert Kahneman. And he is a person. Who is Robert Kahneman? I just wanted to ask this question. I just wanted to know from people, who is Robert Kahneman? Since you are from economics and psychology, have you ever heard the name Kahneman?
Sorry, sir, but this is the first time I'm hearing about him.
Okay, Kahneman is a person. He got the Nobel Prize for actually not for psychology but for economics, and he used the psychological theories in economics, and he done research on gambling and how individuals are actually using certain techniques in gambling, and how they are choosing certain kind of choices while they are playing with cards. And he used to say that most of the things happening in the gambling or cards, especially there are different types of gambling, right? Using cards. So he was mentioned most of the things is happening based on the probability. So the importance of probability in economics, right? And there is a 50% chance to have right and 50% chance to have wrong. Okay. And he used to assess this through a certain measures, and he written a book on heuristics and biases. You can check it. The ebook is available. It's a free downloading one, but it's little hard to understand the language in the beginning. But if it is, if you are reading with an interest, definitely you will be able to adapt that particular language. How he was identified certain things in our human behavior. And for that, I would like to ask a question. All of you, please use the chat box. I'm going to give you 4 options. Okay, based on this particular code, because I have mentioned probability, 50% chance to have right and 50% chance to have wrong measures. So I'm giving you a multiple choice question, but question I will give you after the choice. So I'm writing the choice in the chat box. Below 500. Okay, so are you able to see the choices? There are 4 choices: A, below 500, B, in between 500 and 1000, C, in between 1000 and 10,000, D, above 10,000. These are the options. You have to select one answer. Okay. Are you ready? I hope all of you open the chat box. I am going to give the question. Okay. So you have to quickly respond in the chat box. What is your answer? A or B or C or D? Okay, you will get seconds. You have to decide within that seconds. Okay, thank you. A lot of people are responding. Answer A, below 500. Answer B, in between 500 and 1000. Answer C, in between 1000 and 10,000. Answer D, above 10,000. Okay, so this is the answer. What is the sum of 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5 into 6 into 7 into 8? Quick. C, A, D, A, C, B, B, D, 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 C, D, D, D. Okay. 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 B, D, C. Okay. Right. C, D, B. Okay, thank you. What is the answer? Anyone knows the answer? Okay, whoever given D is the right answer, but I just wanted to know that what is the answer. You can put it in the chat box. You can put it in the chat box. Yes. Thank you. So 3,62,880. Okay, so this is the answer actually. But those who have put it in the chat box as B and C will go ahead with the probability, right? And we know that in human beings there is a chance we will decide based on the impulsive act, and also we will go ahead with the probability because you calculated within seconds. Maybe you calculate till 5 or 6. For example, 1 into 2, 2, 2 into 3, 6, 6 into 4, 24, 24 into 5, 125, 125 into 6, maximum 500. And you decided accordingly because we go ahead with a wild guess usually in our life. Okay, and that is the probability how it is making a plan and making a point in our life. And most of the time we will go ahead with a wild guess, and that sometimes there is a possibility to have a right answer. Sometimes it will go as a wrong answer. But how you are actually making something in your life, you need to look at the act and look at the factors, and based on the opportunities in that particular situation, you need to decide whether there is a right thing or wrong things exist, right? And where we have our capacity to understand ourselves. And as a person, who are you? If I'm asking a question, who are you? What will be the immediate answer from you? Put it in the chat box. If I'm asking a question, who are you? I will ask these kind of questions. Okay, this is a way of teaching. So sorry for that. I usually ask a lot of questions. Okay, I'm Nishta, I'm Raghav, I'm Manas, I'm Tanishka, I'm Vasundhara, Vanshika, Kusha, Rohan, I'm Akansha. See, most of the people has given their name as the answer. Okay, I am me. Oh, wonderful. Human. Something philosophical answers are coming. I'm Zeal, a girl, a friend, a daughter. Okay, that's great, Tanushree. I'm ambivert. Really good. Whatever. Okay, see, once we are looking at ourselves, sometimes we are able to understand the things which is happening based on the situation. If I'm asking a question, who are you? Because I'm a stranger, most probably you will give answer your name, right? I'm Rohan. Okay, I'm Tanisha, or I'm Palak, I'm Harley. Okay, I'm Suhani. So you will give answer like your name, because I'm a stranger, you don't know. And you maybe perceive me as a professor who is coming, coming from Christ University to take a session. So you may be having certain kind of notion towards the person who is taking a session, right? So based on that, you will represent your name as a answer. For example, if I'm giving a chance, apart from your name, who are you? Put it in the chat box. Keep your name aside. Now, who are you? A student, a girl, a student, a girl, student, human, from soul. I'm worldly, I'm a student. Okay. I'm a learner. Okay. I'm a sister. Okay. Okay. I speak of dirt in the galaxy. Raghav. That's great, Raghav. A boy. Umar was responded like a boy. Oh, still a child is there. I'm daughter. Okay. See, this is the way how people usually respond, right? Atoms. A very tricky answer. Young, a daughter. Okay. Thank you for the responses. I'm very happy that you people are very quick in responding, and it's appreciated your responses. So this is the way how usually we will able to understand, right? If I'm asking a question, who are you? Maybe most of the time you will represent from your name. If you are getting a chance to interact with the person little bit, maybe you will able to explore yourself little bit. Okay, in that way, maybe you will able to understand the characteristics what we have possessed. Maybe you will try to explain yourself in terms of positive things what you have. For example, I'm a good painter, I'm a good learner, I'm a good cricketer, I'm a boy, I'm a student, I'm a learner, I'm a budding researcher, I'm a psychologist, a budding psychologist or budding economist, I'm a graduate. So you will try to understand what are the things which is already existing within you. And this is the way how you are able to get a chance to introspect, right? Or reflect. It's a kind of a personal reflection. So I am giving you a chance after this slide to give a personal reflection. But we have the last one from Ronald Reagan. Our problems are many, but our capacity to solve them is limitless, right? Maybe you will be experiencing a lot of problems in our life. And without problems, there is no life, right? And if you are existing in this world, definitely you have to face problems or issues, right? Because it is the way how you are perceiving things. Maybe the problem what I am experiencing is different from you. Maybe you have a different problem. Maybe to getting an admission for a master's program is a problem for you. For me, it is not a problem because I am already graduated, right? But getting a publication in a Scopus article, Scopus Industries Journal is a problem for me, for maybe for your Professor Shromi, because we all already finished our graduation or undergraduate PhD and everything. We got a chance to teach students, and our problems are different from your whatever you are perceiving. So it depends on the perception of how individuals are identifying certain problems or issues in your life. But there are problems, but your capacity to solve the problem is limitless. Usually people will say it's a problems are always existing with solution. If there is no solution, there is no problem, right? because we identified problems because we have a solution. That's why we identified it as a problem. And usually there is a term in organization we are usually using, proportionality. Problem plus opportunity. Each problem is an opportunity for you to develop yourself. If we are identifying something as a problem and there is a chance to develop, to use your brain, use your capacity to solve. Once you are able to solve that particular problem, definitely that is a change of yourself and you will get certain kind of satisfaction. Maybe you can give a pat on your shoulder because you've done a well job, right? And the way how you are perceiving the things and how you are getting a chance to develop yourself, then only you are able to solve the problem. So I'm giving you a very interactive tool to express yourself. Maybe we'll take 5 to 10 minutes maximum for this activity. Just a minute, I will share the link with you. Yes, there is a link on your chat box, or I will just a minute. I will also use the. Okay. You can go to the link and click on the link, and I am giving you a page where you can see some questions. There are 15 questions, very simple questions, and just listen now. It's a Padlet form, and there is a plus mark in the right hand side. Okay, a pink color with a plus mark. You can click on the plus mark. There will be a box coming, and you can give a title, and you can write down the things based on the questions which was given. It's a personal reflection. Your name, if you could name yourself, what name would you assign? Add an image or a fun character. There is a possibility you can upload from your laptop or your mobile as a photographs. If you want to give a link, there is a link. If you there is a 3 buttons, you can click on that. You can able to download or copy paste the images, GIF, everything through Google. Okay, so just try. If you are getting difficulties, let me know. I'm deleting this one and open to you. Okay, Parichay Panwar is already there. But don't enter immediately after the first responses because you have to respond to the all 15 questions. And if you wanted to edit the Padlet form, there is a 3 buttons. I think it's visible. You can click on the 3 buttons. There is an edit post option. Edit post and give answer 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay, Himadri Chauhan is already started. Palak Dishit is started, and someone is started without name, but they are yes moving. So I'm not giving you now. I am going back to the page, and you can continue the session. It's time for you. Use 5 to 6 minutes for the Padlet activity. If someone is getting difficulties, let me know. I will demonstrate again. Click on the link. That link will take you a new page where you are able to see a plus mark in the right hand side. Yeah, people started trying to add images and all. You can click on the plus mark. You will get a post where you can answer the questions. Your name, if you could name yourself, what would be you assign? Add an image, your favorite actor, your native place, favorite dish, your mother tongue. If you could have a superpower, what would you choose? What are you most passionate about apart from studies? Okay. Genre of books, movies, songs, TV show that you enjoy, kindest thing a teacher has done for you, kindest thing a friend has done for you, most fascinating thing you have seen in nature, school or college, your dream, and a skill you have. So these are the questions, and you can start responding. Someone is sent this link recent karo. Okay, Rohan copy pasted it. You have 4 more minutes. Okay, Himadri Chauhan is finished 8. Okay, Sania, Polo, Raghav. That's great, Raghav. Picture. Two more minutes. Anvita Ray, Ted Buzzy, Davis, Daniel Kukata, Jan Sovel, Bengali, Mind Control and Reading, Fashion Mystery Thriller. Talk to me about my problems at my back, pain, fashion business. I'm crazy good at anything related to fashion. Jennifer Aniston, Noida, I am a foodie, music, comedy. Nidhi Sharma is destiny just because nervousness was and destiny. Karthikarian, Cheru, Rajasthan. Anything that is something thin, to read human mind, writing, suspense thriller, the most contest act my teacher has done to me. Within my abilities, what I am to do it because of the leave, please, Jaipur, Maggie, Hindi, flying. Tiger, Tom Hanks, Diwani, Rajma Chawal, Hindi, reading minds, acting, feelings, thrillers, fantasy. Becoming an actor, environmentally standard, perfect human, being simple. Sania, Palak, I think 27 people responded. Maybe people are getting difficulty to enroll. Yes, thank you. Yes. So I just because I think people are getting difficulty to uh, use the Slido and Padlet maybe. So I'm going back to the slide. Okay, thank you for your responses. I will send this Padlet form page to your teacher as a later. Okay, after the session. So I understood that people are trying to use their all characteristics through the activity, because I have asked a few questions related to what is your favorite things, and if you could a chance to use getting a superpower, what you are going to do. So most of the people usually try to go ahead with their fantasy world, and they will try to understand something from their perspective. So definitely, if you are talking about what you did something good for your friend, or what you like the kind things your teacher done, maybe you have certain kind of introspection, and you will be able to retrieve certain informations or events from the previous experiences. So I think these short lines are familiar with all of you. Maybe this is an old saying that for the lack of a nail, the shoe was lost. For the lack of a shoe, the horse was lost. For the lack of the horse, the message was lost. For the lack of message, the battle was lost. For the lack of the battle, the war was lost. And the lack of war, the kingdom was lost. And this all happened, right? All this happened because of a horseshoe nail. So you just think about yourself. A lot of things are happening in our life, right? And you have a lot of dreams, and you have thinking about to become something in your life, right? But if you don't have something that which is really really needed, and if you are not able to understand yourself, this is not going to happen. Whatever is doing in your life, whatever you have as a dream, that is not going to satisfy you. To satisfy these all things, you need to understand yourself first. That is the importance of self-awareness. If you are knowing yourself, it is easy to interact with people. It is easy to communicate with people. It is easy to socialize with people. It is easy to work with people, right? And human beings are social animals. We know that, right? And without socialization, it is very difficult to sustain in this world, right? You can think in a different way. Maybe there will be a lot of philosophical thoughts about independence, and I wanted to live in my world. I wanted to live in my own world. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to interact with people. These are some philosophical thoughts people usually getting. But ultimately, if you wanted to work, and if you wanted to get a job, and if you wanted to expect certain kind of a professional life, definitely socialization process is really really important. So how you are understanding yourself, and you are knowing other self, is really really important. So self-awareness is actually defined in two important ways. One, it includes the recognition of ourselves, especially our character, our strength, weakness, and desires and dislikes. As an individual, all of us have a lot of strength and weaknesses, right? And also you have a lot of desires and dislikes. And psychology students, I know what are the basic needs we have, like, so what are the basic desires and dislikes we have, and the people will able to understand the desires and dislikes, and based on that we will choose things in our life. And how to develop this self-awareness is not that easy, but self-awareness can help us to recognize when we are stressed or feel under pressure. So for example, most of the time people are not able to manage their life situations. For example, if you are under pressure, how it is going to reflect on your behavior. Maybe there are a lot of negative and positive way how people are actually cope up with the pressures in our life. And you just imagine during this COVID, right, and this pandemic, most of the people are getting anxiety and stress and tension due to various reasons. For us, for example, as a faculty, I'm getting sometimes stress and difficulties in terms of online classes, because we are spending more than 12 to 15 hours in front of laptop every day. So this was not happened before, but due to the pandemic, it was a forced choice to have a work from home for teachers. We never expected work from culture for teachers. How many of you thought of this kind of situation in your past? I think 90% of people never thought of having this kind of situation in life, right? But you, because work from home is a familiar word in organization and industry. People, a lot of my friends are opting work from home for their work. But for in a teaching or working with a college or a school or a university, we never thought of having a work from home culture. But it was happened, and it is happening still. It's going on, and definitely we will experience certain kind of pressures. But you need to understand the situation in a peaceful manner, and we need to identify the positive out of it. Then only we are able to cope up with that particular situation. Otherwise, we will also experience stress and anxiety that will in turn negatively affect your behavior. So understanding ourselves and understanding our characteristics and our strength and weakness is one side. And also, once you are able to develop this self-awareness, definitely that will help you to manage your feelings, emotions, and whenever you are under pressure, definitely that will help you positively in your situations. So in that case, we have a very good method as SWOT analysis, and this is very familiar for people, those who are doing courses, especially undergraduate psychology, economics, and all. But this was introduced in life skills in a very often, and SWOT analysis now termed as SOC analysis because T is replaced by C. There is not threat at all, but we have challenges because we know that people are competing because there are a lot of people are doing graduation in Jaipur. You don't have any threat from other universities, but you have challenge from people, those who are graduating from other universities or other colleges, right? So in that way, they have replaced the threat by C, that is challenges. So I would like to ask a few questions in terms of strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges. So you need to count your strengths and weaknesses. Most of the people are able to understand their strength, maybe easy way, but there are people, they are not able to understand their strength. Instead of that, they will focus more in terms of weaknesses, and they won't look at the opportunities. Instead of that, they will focus more on challenges or problems which is having in their life. So how to perceive these things is matter. It is depends on the perception, how you are understanding the strengths and weaknesses, and also how you are perceiving opportunities and challenges from outside. While you are considering these four aspects like strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges, two are internal in nature. Strength and weakness is internal. This is depends on our as an individual, our own strength and weaknesses. But opportunities and challenges are more like an external factors. So there are a lot of external factors are influencing on your opportunities and challenges, but strength and weaknesses is basically from internal characteristics. So next I have a question on you on strength and weaknesses. Use the Slido and type one strength and one weakness. Your one strength and one weakness. Use the same code 33122. If you don't want to type your name, it's absolutely fine. You can just type your one strength and one weakness. Yeah, 31 people responded. People are still doing this, I think. Yes, strength, understanding. You can write with an hyphen, one strength hyphen a weakness. Then I will get the diet. So you can write it as a pair, strength hyphen weakness. Patient, understanding, weakness, oversensitive, helpful, weakness, losing someone, strength, understanding, procrastinator, helpful, empathetic, patient, strong, trustworthiness, versatility, anchor. I will give you 1 minute. Is that fine? I think it's enough, right? 1 minute is enough to enter a strength and weakness. You can use the chat box if you are getting difficulty to log in Slido. You can use the chat box and type your strength and weakness. If you are getting difficulty to log in Slido.com. Helpful, good listener, losing someone, maths, emotional, anchor, impatient, trust easily. Trust easily is a weakness. Overthinker, encouraging is a strength, and overthinker is a negative or weakness. Strength is parents. Strength is a good listener. Weakness is a mood swings. Impatient is a weakness. Family is a strength and weakness. Someone removed. Yeah, so most of the people given anchor as a weakness. Knowledge is a strength. Easily impacted is a weakness. Emotional is a weakness. Perfectionist is a weakness. Being human is a weakness. Standardized test is a weakness. Losing someone is a weakness. Procrastination is a weakness. Shy. Out of 71, 24 people responded. Strength, Sania Gugia used a chat box. Pallavi used a chat box. Chalvika used a chat box. Strength, understanding people. Weakness, sensitive. Strength, I am confident. I am extremely emotional person. Strength is family. Weakness is over emotional. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your responses. See, while you are talking about strength and weaknesses, it is usually people will use as a problem most of the time to understand. For example, anchor is a weakness. Okay, so sometimes anchor will lead to a lot of conflict in your life, right? Due to a weakness or due to negative characteristics, maybe you will experience a lot of difficulty to cope up with people. So anchor will lead to a lot of difficulties or conflict in your life. And also, while you're talking about strength, maybe you believe it is a strength, but we don't know how people are perceiving it as whether it is a strength or weakness, right? So that's also there. And most of the time, we will try to understand our strength, but the perception from individuals is also a matter. And how the society or how the individuals are perceiving you in terms of the strength and weaknesses, we need to discuss. For that, we usually do a sort analysis, and sort analysis is a method usually people will use to understand themselves. For example, to knowing yourself, there are a lot of online platforms are available, or you can use a standardized test on sort analysis. You can do better, and you will be able to understand yourself. So, what are the major internal and external characteristics strength will influence individual? While you are doing a sort analysis, while you are counting your strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges, you need to understand what strength and weakness will help you. For example, the strength and opportunities are more like a helpful characteristics which will help you to grow in a better way. But weaknesses and threat or challenges will usually harmful in nature that will not help you to grow in a better way. So one is helpful, that is the first dyad, and the second dyad is more harmful in nature. So strength is internal and weakness is internal, but opportunities and challenges of threat are external in nature. So we can able to see how the strength or opportunities will helpful in your journey of as a student or as a professional or as a like the family member. This you need to understand. For example, for a student, what are the strengths you are supposed to possess? Because for knowledge is a very important strength which is needed for a student, right? And patience is very important, right? And also like the dedication is very important. So these are some strength which is related to a student life. But if I'm asking you as a daughter or as a son, what are the strengths you identified from you or within you? So maybe that is more like no maybe authenticity, maybe something which we can talk, or maybe the gratitude towards your parents, how you like to often use the gratitude. And what are the strength? You are very patient in terms of like now listening your parents or doing things in your home. So there are a lot of strength which is related to family, which is related to your like academic life. If you are become a professional, the strengths are different, right? What are the strengths you needed to develop is different. So based on the situation, based on the context, the strength will change. And also, while you're talking about weaknesses, maybe as a student you have certain kind of weaknesses. For example, procrastination, right? And the procrastination is something which is always influence on student life, your personal life, or your professional life. But the same way, if you are looking at some weaknesses in terms of like collaborating people with people, interpersonal relationship and communication is a weakness for me. Interpersonal relationship is a weakness for me. I'm not able to like connect people very easily. So people have different kind of weaknesses based on the context or the situation, and you need to understand what are the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat you have right now as a student, and how you can incorporate certain changes in these weaknesses and challenges to help you to grow in a better way in the future. So for that, usually we will try to understand some questions in terms of what do you do better than anyone else. That is a strength what usually you need to understand. It is not regarding I have a strength like I have knowledge. Definitely those who are doing an undergraduate course, everyone will have knowledge in their subject, right? So apart from rest of the people, what are the things you can better you can do better than anyone else in the class, or anyone in this community, or anyone in the society, anyone in this particular context of graduating student? And that is the unique thing which will make you a different from others. So you need to understand what are the strengths I have. There are common strengths which is visible in everyone. For example, kindness. We can kindness is a strength for individual. Definitely kindness is there for a lot of people, right? We can see people, those who are expressing kindness towards others. But what are the strengths you have as a, for example, leadership skill is a very unique one. You can't expect everyone will become a leader, right? So you need to understand what are the unique things I have, and how I can incorporate that uniqueness in my interactions with others. So that is the way how you are supposed to understand your strength, instead of looking at a common strength which is commonly used by rest of the people. You need to understand a unique characteristics which is identified as a strength, and how you can incorporate that strength into your personal life. And the second one is most likely to have a weakness in terms of internal characteristics. What could you improve? So don't think about weakness is something very negative in nature. So most of the time, if I'm asking a question to people, what are the weaknesses you have? Usually they will identify the negative characteristics, right? So instead of putting focus on that particular negativity, how you can do, or what could you improve in that particular context is matter. For example, how you are able to change certain things in your perception, and what are the characteristics you have identified as a weakness. For example, anger is a weakness. Have you ever thought of reducing anger? Have you ever thought of doing certain measures or method to maybe decrease your anger behavior? Or that is the way how you need to understand your personality or characteristics, right? So if you wanted to know yourself, if you identified something as a weakness, what could you to improve in that particular context? For example, someone was mentioned that impatient. Have you ever thought of reducing this impatience? Or have you ever thought of improving something which is relevant? For example, I'm not able to focus in my studies. Okay, maybe I'm too much addicted to Netflix, for example, especially people those who are in your ages. Most of the people are very oftenly addicted towards this Netflix series, for example. And I'm very fond of doing like Instagram or social media. I'm spending more than 5 to 6 hours every day. Nowadays is increasing, right? Maybe 10 hours you are spending in social media. Do you think that that is something which is making you to restrict in your academics? If it is restricting your academic progress, definitely you need to think and you need to understand that is a weakness I have, and what are the measurements I can take to overcome these kind of difficulties. And you need to improve your strength in one side, then only the weakness we can able to reduce. So in that way, you need to assess the weaknesses instead of identifying I have this weakness, I have this weakness. Most of the people usually having a tendency to understand the weakness. They will just understand the weakness and they will always thinking about the weakness. They're never going to think to reduce or improve something good in that particular context. Instead of that, they will put, okay, I don't have this one, I don't have this one, I have always this kind of experiences, because you have never thought of the other side of the coin, right? Because if you have a weaknesses, definitely there is a strength in the other side of the coin. So you need to understand through using your strength how you can incorporate certain changes and how you can reduce your weakness, and what should you avoid. For that, what should you avoid? For example, if people sometimes experience anger, maybe because of the context you are expecting, there is an anger behavior. Okay, sometimes because of some people you will get angry, right? And how to avoid the people is matter. You need to think how to avoid the people, how to avoid the situation. Maybe if I am going to involve certain kind of activities, definitely there is a possibility people will make some comments. If I'm getting certain comments, definitely I will get angry. And this is going to happen. If you are understood, this is a contest, and what are the improvement you are looking for? Are you really able to avoid the situation? Are you really able to avoid the person? Are you really going to sit alone for some time? Are you just withdrawing from the situation? So these are something which you need to think about, improve yourself. Otherwise, most of the time people will think of the weaknesses and you will spend time with the what exactly happening for the individuals. So that is something which is required for an individual, those who are doing in emerging adults, especially in your age, right? And this is a new category of people. Most of the time we are looking at adolescents, late adolescents, and people are just crossing adolescence, but they are not gone to adult stage. And we usually call these people as emerging adults from age of 19 to 25 or 18 to 25. And people, those who have started their undergraduate is actually coming under this category, because maybe you are 17 or 18 plus students are sitting in front of me. And there are a lot of characteristics or behavioral changes usually happening in this particular age. And if it is adolescence, definitely I could say that people are considered as a period of stress and strain. But you are moving towards the late adolescence, and you need to understand yourself. What are the changes happen as a bodily, physically, psychologically, emotionally, sexually? These 5 areas changes is usually happen in this particular period. And you people will able to read these kind of things through your courses like lifespan development or maybe adolescent development courses, right? But I'm not going to talk about the theoretical framework. But instead of that, I just wanted to know how many of you are really understood the changes, and what are the changes happen during this adolescent, and how it is influenced you or impacted you. Do you think that certain changes which was happened in adolescence is made a lot of difficulties in your life? Then how and why it is happened? You need to scientifically inquire about the changes which was happened due to the changes. There are bodily changes, there are hormonal changes, there are physiological changes. Along with that, there will be a lot of psychological development, right? And that psychological development you need to understand. If you are able to understand in a very scientific way, definitely you are able to cope up with that. And most of the students in this particular age is not able to understand in a scientific way that will reflect on your personality. And definitely that is not going to happen now. Maybe during your adult stage, these changes or this difficulty, this reflection will happen. Okay, maybe you will experience certain kind of difficulties in the later period. And since you all are graduate students and psychology or economics students, you need to think about yourself in a very prominent way. Are we supposed to understand myself first or not? Okay, do you think that you will be getting a chance to retrospect yourself? How many of you are here? How many of you are getting a time to retrospect or introspect your activities every day? If I'm asking this question, maybe you will say that 0. right? Most of the people are not getting a time to looking inside or inwardly, because most of the time we will look at the things which is happening and which is fascinating us, and we will definitely influence on the things which is happening in our environment, right? And we never got a chance to look at inside and what actually I have. For example, I'm a good person. If I'm asking a question, who are you? You should ask a question towards you. Who am I? Then only you will get the answer. If I'm asking a question, who am I? I'm a student. I'm a daughter. I'm a boy. I'm a sister. I'm a painter. Okay, I'm a singer. I'm a dramatic artist. I'm a filmmaker. I'm an actor. I'm an actress. So lot of such answers will come. You need to explore maximum in that level. Okay, then only you will able to understand, or you will able to create certain kind of positivity and satisfaction among yourself. Okay, so then you will able to figure out. You just write down a note, a journal. Okay, daily journal is very helpful for people to understand themselves, right? If you're writing, what are the things I did today? Are you doing something good every day? If I'm asking this question, no one is going to plan something to do good every day, right? You are not making any plan for, okay, tomorrow I will do something good thing for someone. We are not able to plan like this, but it is going to happen, right? Accidentally, there are a lot of things are happening in our life, but you will get certain positivity out of it. For example, you just helped a person to cross a road. Okay, maybe for you something a happy moment which it was. Maybe the person, those who experience the same, is also happy, right? So the happiness may be experienced without any voluntary or conscious act, but unconsciously that is influencing your behavior, right? Maybe there is a tendency next time you will consciously help a person to cross the road. So this is the way how these kind of characteristics will develop among individuals. So you need to look at yourself, you need to introspect yourself, what are the characteristics I have, and what are the changes which is happening to me, and how it is positively or negatively influencing. So then only we are able to understand the strengths and weaknesses in a very positive way. And while you're looking at the other two aspects like opportunity and challenges, so we know that we have a lot of opportunities, and I have already mentioned opportunity is external in nature. It's an external characteristic, external factor. So what are the good opportunities facing you? I would like to ask this question as a student, okay, as a psychology student or as an economics student. What are the opportunities you are facing? Just put it in the chat box. Use the chat box, no need of any other tools, because I think the Slido and Padlet is getting difficulty for you. Use the chat box because it's easy. What are the opportunities you are experiencing or facing? As a student or as a daughter, as a son, what are the opportunities you are experiencing or facing? Just put it in the chat box. Getting to know some amazing people. Okay, great. So you, Palak is saying that getting to know some amazing people. So there are a lot of amazing people in this group. I understood. That's why Palak given as a response. Maybe she is identified someone from outside also, right? As a student, as a graduate, I'm able to meet people. I'm able to interact with people. For example, if there is any seminar or conferences, there is a chance you will be able to connect with people, those who are coming from outside, right? Making new friends, getting exposure, getting to learn technical stuff, getting to learn in an understanding and open-minded environment. Good, good. I'm expecting more responses in the chat box. I think people are just listening. You need some physical exercise in between, okay? Otherwise, you will get bored. That's why I'm asking you to type something. Then only you are able to focus. You know how much time you are able to focus, right? Maximum 10 to 15 minutes. If I'm not giving these kind of questions, after some point of time, you will get sleep. Once you are able to type with your fingers, you will get some exercise. So you are able to continue your focus for 50 more minutes. Okay, exploring for psychology, learning things beyond academic boundaries, connecting to people who share same interest. Thank you, thank you. Even in the pandemic situation, we are able to learn and explore ourselves through our studies. Great, very good. That is a great opportunity people are getting. And also, I hope that your college is giving all such, such kind of, because this is an opportunity for me to interact with you because of your college is given that opportunity, right? So definitely during this pandemic, they are also helping you to learn, connect with people, explore our strength and weakness, learning how to be more empathetic, exploring knowing ourselves better, doing many spontaneous things, learning new things every day. Great. So thank you for your responses. As a student, if I'm asking you what are the opportunities you have, definitely you will connect your opportunity with academics, right? For example, as a student, you are getting an opportunity to study. Even though the pandemic is affected badly, we are able to study. And that is a great opportunity for a student. There are a lot of students are not getting these opportunities in our country. You just imagine. And a lot of states, they are yet to start colleges. And they closed. In Bangalore, I would say Christ University is exceptional. We started on time. We never lost any days for our academics. Admission, everything is over. Our first semester is going to end by this December. But you just imagine, there are a lot of colleges in Bangalore that shut the college. There is nothing happening. There is no recruitment. There is no admission happen. And they ask the faculties to just go back to their home. And there are certain colleges they started in between, and they are called back their faculties, and there are a lot of faculties not getting salary. Okay, in some colleges because of this pandemic. You just imagine, there are a lot of difficulties and issues is happening. But in between, there are people getting an opportunity to study. They are getting all the exposure in this contest, and the universities or colleges trying to incorporate technology into that, and they are using online platform to teach students. They are using the online platform to interact with students. So this all will help as part of the opportunity. So this is an opportunity for you to understand, if even though you are experiencing something difficult in your life, there is a possibility to overcome that, right? Even though everyone has experienced the pandemic in the initial stages as a great thing, and they were not able to come out from the house, or they're sitting inside the home. And what is happening now? Everyone is in the road. No one is taking care of this pandemic, right? Because we have adapted. We know how to overcome this kind of situation. And in the initial stages, everyone is really, really anxious about the pandemic. Do you think that the anxiety will help you to stay back at home? Never. After sitting in the room, you are again getting anxiety. You are getting worried, right? But you don't know how to cope up with the situation. But after some point of time, you try to understand the situation, and you understood that even though if I'm getting a pandemic, that will lead to some changes in my body and my thoughts. But as per the studies and after the research, most of the people are getting psychosomatic symptoms after COVID. Okay, because we have that fear, and most of the people definitely have a fear of death, right? Because we got a news that there is no vaccine. Immediately you receive that particular word, no vaccine, that increased our anxiety, increased our fear. And due to that, people are literally anxious and worried about this particular disease. Definitely, there is no vaccine. If it is affected for someone, there is a possibility to have a death, right? But everyone is believed in that way. But slowly, people started accommodating or adjust with the situation. But that is needed. Okay, we can't sit inside the home 24/7 into 365 days. It is not possible. It's not possible. So we need to think about alternatives. So people started looking at the alternatives. People started looking at the various aspects which is helpful. As for example, people started using certain measures, and most of the people are started going for running, exercise to improve their immunity capacity, because most of the studies are saying that if you have great immunity power, you can ever from COVID. Right, and people started doing jogging. People started going for exercises. They started looking at their daily diet. Okay, so this all happened because people, if there is a will, there is a way. So we know that if there is an opportunities, definitely you have to opt that, and you have to go ahead. And usually people will say that I'm an optimist. Even though the pandemic is affecting, I'm an optimist. I believe in that something going to happen soon. Maybe there is a possibility we will able to figure out a vaccine for COVID, right? Because that's why people are believing. We are optimists in nature. But optimist is not like that everything is happen and God will help us, or someone will help us, or vaccine will help us. That is not optimism. Optimism is coming from a word, that option. You have several options. Okay, For example, you have a lot of colleges in your country or in your state, and you choose chosen St. Xaviers College as a option for your graduate courses, right? Because how you are analyzing the options and how you are opting that, and a person opting a good option and moving along with the option is called an optimist. Okay, it is not regarding that. Okay, I have done my 50% and 50% will happen, right, with the help of God or someone. If you have that kind of mindset, that is not going to help you. But you have options. You need to choose a best choice. There are a lot of chances, but choice is one. You had a lot of chances, but only one choice, that is St. Xaviers College. You had a lot of choices, but one choice, it is an economics or psychology. Okay, and you have a lot of choices, but your chances, but your choice is to attend the webinar. Okay, you can just mute yourself, video or audio. You can do some other things also, right? That is your choice. How you are taking choices in your life is matter. That will help you to figure out your opportunities in your life. It is not regarding that there are a lot of things that will help me. Okay, I will think about my higher education after completion of third year or last semester. Okay, still last semester I wanted to enjoy my academic days. There are people will have that kind of thought process. But you need to plan something. You need to look at the opportunities what is there after your graduation, after your master's program, or do I go ahead with any master's program or higher studies, or should I take a break and do something, or working for one year or 2 year, then only I will think about higher education. You need to plan, because there are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of chances. You have to take a proper choice out of it, then only we will able to figure out how you are facing the opportunities in a better way. And along with that, there is a challenge as a threat. What obstacles do you face? That is really, really important, because you have the strength, you have the opportunities, but still there are obstacles which is making a barrier on your movement. For example, you are moving forward, but you have all capacity or strength to moving forward, but there are certain obstacles which is negatively influencing on your pathway. If some obstacles are there, you need to identify what are the obstacles you have. Maybe if you wanted to become a professional, one obstacles maybe you have identified that I have less connections with people. My networking is very poor. Okay, for example, if you wanted to become a psychology student or psychology professional, definitely your connections and networking is important, right? Most of the students, those who are pursuing their courses, will have a good networking. They will be able to understand a lot of things from people, and that networking will help you to reach on your goal or in your target. So that is something which is experienced as obstacles in your life. Sometimes people believe that my communication skill is an obstacle to moving forward. Sometimes people believe that my personality, okay, I'm short-tempered. Okay, whatever is happening, even though I am starting with a positive mindset, everything will end up with a conflict. Sometimes people is experiencing that. So if it is an obstacle, you need to understand this is something which is I need to work out, and I have to remove the obstacles or this barrier. Then only I will be able to move forward in a very pleasant way. And there are a lot of other obstacles also you need to understand. For example, you wanted to, for example, your ma'am is from, I think she's from IIT, right? Shiromi ma'am, you are from IIT, if I'm not wrong.
Tata Institute.
Okay, TIS, okay, TIS. Okay, so there are a lot of students wanted to, most of our Christchurch is wanted to join TIS after their graduation. Because since I am a class teacher, I know how many letter of recommendation I am giving every day for students for applying Tata Institute. But getting chance to enter in Tata Institute is very less. That is obstacle, right? Maybe your knowledge, your capacity, your communication, your ideology, your knowledge in research, okay, your knowledge in subject is all matter. If you have really, if you are able to hard work for that particular entrance, then only you will get into TIS, right? And you need to understand the obstacle where I am lacking. Okay, if you are able to understand, definitely there is a possibility to grow in a very positive manner. And you need to understand whether I should go ahead with this way or that way with a proper guideline. And you need to create that guideline. You need to create that plan. You need to create that target goal. this is goal, and I will work like this, and this is my target. Within this, what you call 10 months or 2 semesters, I will able to equipped with the things which is needed for higher education or this particular institute. In that way, you need to develop your thought process. And while you're looking at these 4 aspects, we can see there are some way that will help you to analyze. So when do you use the SWOT analysis? We know the strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges which is existing, and we will able to understand these are some strengths and weaknesses I have. But when you use this SWOT analysis, and how this SWOT analysis is helping you, one thing it is very important that SWOT analysis will help you to explore problems and solutions of problems. Whenever you have a problems, you can do a SWOT analysis. For example, someone was, I think Rohan was mentioned in the beginning as part of the psychology or economics association, right? When you working with an association, there will be a lot of issues and problems, how to move forward in this pandemic. For example, maybe you have to do a SWOT analysis of the association. And if you have a department issues, you have to do a department level SWOT analysis. And you need to identify the strength, weakness, opportunity based on the context. So the context is matter. If you are individual SWOT analysis, the context is you. If you are doing a SWOT analysis for a group, the context is a group. If you are doing a SWOT analysis for some professional or organization, the context is organization. Okay, so this will help you to explore problems and solution of problems which is existing. And this SWOT analysis will help you to make decisions in a wise way. So whatever problems and strength and opportunities you have, and based on that, you can able to make certain decision in that particular context. For example, you identify there is a great weakness in the organization, and you are not able to productive much. And there will be certain decisions from organization where they are going to close the organization. There are certain kind of decisions is taking care. Big organizations are shutting it within 1 day or 1 week. Why it is happening? Because they will do a very good analysis of their product, and they will do a very good analysis of the organization, and they will decide whether this will helpful for them to sustain in this platform or not. Based on that, they will decide. Maybe sometimes the organization will change the old system. Maybe they will change the top level leaders or managers, and based on that, they will able to work in a proper way. So you can take decision after doing a SWOT analysis. And also this will help to organize important factors linked to success and failure in the professional world. So most of the the industrial setup is actually using the SWOT analysis in every day-to-day life situations. But human beings, especially us, is little hesitant to use certain kind of things, especially if it is in terms of our own characteristics, right? If I am asking you, you just imagine during this pandemic, how many of you started doing a diet? Just a minute. How many of you followed a healthy diet during this pandemic? Maybe you will ask people to follow good diet, but we never going to follow that. After some point of time, you understood that something is happening, right? Maybe you got some comments and people ask you to reduce your weight. Then only we will think about diet. This is the way how people work, right? Very less people are consciously doing something on their own. Okay, rest of the people, we will also going, chalo, let's go. Like, let's go. That is an attitude usually we have, right? And majority of the people have this let's go attitude. But once you are experiencing some problems or issues, then only we will think, and we will retrospect, and we will start doing from beginning, from zero. There is a possibility. So that is always important in an individual level. But most of the time we won't look at in that way. But that is actually required, especially in this particular age. Your age is really, really important and crucial to take certain decisions in terms of your future. So in that way, you need to understand the characteristics, what you have and what are the qualities you have, what are the capacity you have, what are the skills you have, what are the attitude you possess. And these all are important to make certain decisions in your future life. And also the SWOT analysis will help you to determine where the change is possible. Where is change means if you identified there is a problem, definitely this will help you to a possible way of changing in your characteristics or your attitude. And also this will help you to adjust and refine plan of action. Most of the time, individuals will make a lot of plans, right? If I'm asking you, how many of you have a great plan during the pandemic? Maybe you have planned to have a good exercise every day, half an hour or 1 hour. Okay, maybe few people are able to continue it. People are able to maybe thinking about it. Okay, I will start tomorrow onwards. I will chat about next day onwards. Such possibilities are there. Well, maybe sometimes people will think about that. I have a plan of action. I will use my skills and I will paint a lot. Okay, maybe you will bought a lot of paints, you lot of papers, pencils, crafts, and everything. Everything is there at home. You have started in the first day. Second day, because of the work, you are not able to do it. Third day, maybe you didn't have, and fourth day onwards, everything is there in one corner of your room. This is also possible, right? But I know there are a lot of people are creatively engaging themselves during the pandemic. Because every day from my our psychology association pages and all, I was really wondering, surprised to have certain kind of contribution from our students. We never noticed that the students have such kind of experience, caliber or skills. But during the pandemic, they have used their uploading a lot of pictures in Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp status. And during that time, we will be able to understand that students are really, really skilled, but they are not using in whenever they are getting a chance at campus. Maybe because of the academics and a lot of CAAs exams and all, they are not able to explore much. But nowadays, they are able to sit, and most of the people are using their skills to compensate, cope up with the anxiety or these kind of worries during the pandemic. Definitely, whatever you have, definitely that will help you to away from the conflict, away from the anxiety, away from the worries. If you are a good singer, definitely you have an opportunity to sing. Right? If you really like to cook, you can cook. If you are really good in gardening, you can do that. If you wanted to do certain kind of painting, you can do that. If you wanted to dance, you can do that. This all will help you to refrain our emotions, and also that will help you to away from the anxiety and worries which is influenced as an individual. Okay, so don't say that I don't have anything. Okay, because I usually ask this question for first years, that what are the skills you have? I'm a good listener. Sometimes people will say that I'm a singer, I dance and all. But later, maybe few students will respond in the very impulsive way. But there are a lot of students, they will say, I don't have much to discuss. Yeah, sometimes I sing, or yeah, I paint, I doodle. Okay, but why you don't have the confidence to say that I will doodle? Okay, I have a capacity to doodle, or I have a capacity to cook. I'm a good listener. I'm very happy with people always. I will smile. Okay, yeah, smiling is a very good positive things for an individual, right? If you are able to smile towards other person, both of the parties will get happiness, right? But if you have a genuine smile, definitely that will influence positivity to others. So you need to start smiling every day. Okay, so that is also an important strength, and people are not able to understand this is strength. I will usually say that, okay, how many of you are able to smile in a proper way, genuine way? Would you, those who are able to unmute your video, please unmute and smile. Yeah, I am able to see Tarisha and Palak. Beautiful smiles. Only two people, I don't know, only two people's faces there in my screen. Maybe because of my screen size is less. Okay, I can able to see Suhani also. Yes, Rohan. Okay. I just wanted to know, how will you genuinely smile towards others? Genuinely, how to smile? Kanishka is trying to smile, but it is not coming. Now it's okay. Vanshika, good afternoon. It's a new face in this video. Rest of the people was there, but yeah. Thank you. At least few people are able to unmute themselves. Yes, yeah, Kushi. Kushi is my student's name. Hi, Kushi. I have a master student, Kushi. Yes, I think is Lokik. Yeah, like his video is having some connectivity issues. Yes. Yes. So this is something we need to understand. Okay, even a smile is a positive thing. Even a smile is a strength of an individual. How many of you are usually understand that a smile will make a changes in others person or others interaction? Because if you are interacting with a person with a smile, definitely the opposite person will have a feeling of having certain positivity from your side, right? So most of the time, people will sit or stand with a blended affect. You know what is blended affect in psychology? What is blended affect? That is one of the sign of schizophrenia. There is no emotions on your face. Okay, when people feel that it's a smile or it's anger or it's a irritation or it's a disgust, people are not able to understand exactly from your face. And we believe that most of us characteristics will explore through your facial expression, and that is something is a non-verbal cue, right? And through the non-verbal cue or through the facial expression, we will able to understand little bit about the person. The person is rightly in a talkable mood, or is the person is really cool now, or the person is getting some irritation, so I don't want to speak now, right? You will decide accordingly. You will able to understand through the facial expression, and that is an easy way to understand people's mindset, or what is the mood now. If I'm asking you, what is your mood now? Just put it in the chat box. What is your mood now? Right now, you have to give genuine response. What is your mood now? Hungry, sleepy, sad, happy, nothing. Anything you can keep. Happy, happy, happy. I am hungry actually. Relaxed. Because I have started my classes from 9 o'clock. It's a continuous sessions. 9 to 11, then 11 to 12. Not 11 to 12, actually 11 to 12 I had a PhD scholar interaction. But I asked her to stop by 11:40 because I wanted to join for this meeting. Okay, so there are a lot of people responded happy, relaxed, and all. So hungry, yes, hungry people are there. So same pitch, Kushi. Excited. Okay, so learning new things every day, doing many spontaneous. Okay, that is the previous question. Okay, thank you. So you see, if I'm asking you, what is your mood right now? If I'm asking you, what is your mood right now? Maybe you will respond through maybe a text that happy. Okay, maybe sometimes I can feel that Palak was smiling while typing. Maybe the happiness I can able to see from her face. See, that is an objective and subjective feeling. What is a subjective feeling? If I'm asking you, what is your mood right now? I'm happy, right? I can see the facial expression while saying happy, right? Sometimes people can say, yeah, I am very happy. Okay, subjectively, you can see the happiness. Objectively, you can see some problem is there with sir, right? Because my facial expression is different. There are possibility, but we need to understand how the mood is affecting. So there is a mood, there is a subjective experience. What is affect? How the mood is reflecting through your facial expression. If it is an anchor, you can able to see from the face. If it is an irritation, you can able to see from the face. If it is a disgust, you can able to see the face. If it is happiness, definitely you can able to see a smile on your face or rest of the people's face. And that is need to happen, because if you have a calmness or you are able to understand your emotions, then only you are able to keep a subjective and an objective feeling in the same way. Whatever you have as a mood, definitely that mood will reflect through your facial expression as affect. And each and every individual try to work out on that level. Then we can see that a new term which is usually people are trying to discuss nowadays under the positive psychology is mindfulness. What is mindfulness? You are able to take things in a very light manner. You can able to perceive things in a positive way. Okay, and it is not easy. It is not that easy, but this is happening through a continuous training and continuous experience and practice. You know, what is the definition of learning? How many psychology students are there? What is the definition of learning? Classical conditioning, operant conditioning, and all you learn, right? So learning is very simple. Learning changes in behavior through practice and experience. I'm not going to give you the exact definition because there are non-psychology people also there. But it's a very simple terms. It's a permanent or relative change in behavior through practice or experience. If you are ready to practice, definitely there will be a learning process. If you are continuing that, definitely there is a change in you. Only the things you need to experience. Only the things you need to practice. So practice and experience is really, really needed for a learning process. Even if it is an education, right? After reading, maybe you will listen to the class, maybe you will understood 50%. You have to go back to home and you have to read the book, then you will understand again 70%. Sometimes you need to write then only you will understand 80%. Maybe you have to repeat again and again the same portion. Then you can able to understand 100%. Because you have the experiences and you had the practice that made a learning process, and whatever you learn, that will be there in your memory, and you will be able to retrieve whenever it is needed. That is also important. Maybe sometimes people, yeah, I learned this one. If a teacher asking a question, you won't get answer because you are not able to retrieve it. It is there in your brain. But that is not the point. You have to store the information in your brain, and whenever it is needed, you need to retrieve it back. And that kind of process and that kind of practice and that kind of expertise is needed for a student or an individual to cope up with the situation which is happening in your life. Then only we can say that I have self-awareness as a skill. And as per the WHO, World Health Organization life skill perspectives, self-awareness is considered as the mother of all life skills. Because without self-awareness, you are not able to develop rest of the skills. For example, if I wanted to know how many of you are very good in communication. If you are very good in communication, you have a confidence. That's why you are able to communicate. What is your interpersonal relationship? Are you able to talk to people? Are you able to talk to face-to-face interaction with your expert from a field of psychology or economics? Maybe there is a Nobel Prize winner came to your campus from psychology or economics. Are you ready to go and speak to that person? If your interpersonal relationship communication is very good, and if you are confident, definitely you will do that, right? That is, you are self-aware. You have that self-awareness. So that is the way how you need to develop the self-awareness. Then only that will help you to develop rest of the skills which is needed for an individual to sustain in this world. I think it's 1:36. My God. Maybe we can stop here to take some questions. Is that fine? Shirami ma'am?
Yes,
Or
sir.
Rohan? Okay, sorry for the continuous interaction. I didn't give break also, sorry. I think maybe the activities what we had as a break, right? Maybe you got some break in between. And thank you, over to you, Rohan. Gentlemen, you can take the questions. Either you can unmute and speak, or you can use the chat box for questions. Both are fine.
Okay, over to you, Tarisha.
English teacher didn't join. This, what is this? It's not for me, right? Tarisha, tell me.
Yes, so this was definitely a very interactive session. Thank you, Dr. Sudesh, for sharing your knowledge with us so well. Knowing ourselves is vital, regardless of our interest in the field of psychology. I believe we have time for a few questions, so we'll move on to the Q&A section of our webinar.
Okay. Thank you, Tarisha. So there is a question in the chat box, Pavitra Arora, how to increase self-acceptance after being self-aware. See, self-awareness is something, we can keep it as an umbrella term, usually. Under self-awareness, there are a lot of other self-centered words like self-image, self-esteem, self-actualization, self-acceptance. Because if you are talking about self-acceptance, once you are self-aware and you need to understand yourself and you know what are the qualities and caliber I have, right? Once you have a self-awareness, it is easy to accept others. And most of the time, people are not able to accept others because we will have a lot of restrictions. Maybe you will restrict yourself because of some problems that you have. For example, I'm not confident to face others in a stage. For example, I have a stage fear. I'm not confident. And people, those who are very good in performing in stage and all, maybe you will get some kind of problem while they are talking to them, and you will have some kind of problem to accept that people, because you are lacking something. Because of that lacking, you are not able to accept rest of the people. But once you are self-aware, it is easy to understand the other person. Once you started using the self-awareness practice, it is easy to understand yourself, and the same way you will be open your door to rest of the people. And that's the way how self-awareness will help you to be self-acceptance in nature. Okay. And self-acceptance is more like an empathetic way of dealing with people, right? You know, empathy is required to be a self-acceptance person. Otherwise, you are not going to accept yourself, right? Either you have to accept yourself first, because if you are because I have identified that people have difficulty in terms of self-acceptance. People, those who have problem in like body shaming is something which is really like influenced in this particular age. You know that, right? And people are not ready to accept themselves, so that will influence them and they will get a lot of conflict. But once you have the self-awareness and you understood your yourself and your strength and your weakness, and you have the opportunities, definitely there is a possibility to accept yourself. Okay. Does being oh, there are a lot of questions one by one. Okay. Does being obsessively self-aware give rise to self-conscious behavior? Yeah, that is true. That is true. But again, I just wanted to say that obsession is something negative in nature. You don't want to be obsessed in terms of your self-awareness. Okay, but you need to understand yourself. Once you are doing things in a very dynamic version, for example, I will do this one, this is my strength, this is me. Every day you are giving the SWOT analysis and you are trying to incorporate things in your life. There is a possibility after some point of time you will be obsessed with the things which is happening, right? So you need to keep a limit everywhere, right? If I am talking you, there is a normalcy for each and every behavior. If I'm asking you a question now, who asked this question? Zeal Palmer. Okay, sorry, not Zeal Palmer. I missed the question. There are a lot of questions are coming. Okay, Gushi was asked a question on obsessively self-aware give rise to self-conscious behavior. Okay, if I'm asking you a question, it's a statistical term. How will you identify the normal behavior? Usually, what is a normal behavior? Because you have mentioned two words, obsessively and conscious behavior. What is a conscious behavior? How will you identify a conscious behavior from other person? We don't have any measurement. We don't have any test to understand whether it is consciousness, whether it's a normal behavior. Usually what we will do, we will use a statistical scale. And based on the statistical scale, we will understand this is a normal behavior. And if you are going both sides, there's a deviation. For example, if there is a scale for 0 to 100, where is the normalcy? Put it in the chat box. There is a scale from 0 to 100. Is it 0 is the normalcy or 100 is the normalcy? Where is the normalcy? If you are using a statistical scales to identify the normal behavior. Palak was mentioned 50, right? Absolutely right. 50 is the normalcy. Because moving away or towards 100 is also deviance. If you are going below 50 is also deviance. Because you are keeping yourself in a balanced way. For example, I will give you a simple example with mania and depression. Normalcy is 50. If you are going down, it leads to depression. Mood out. Okay, mood out. Maybe lack of interest. That is the first symptom. Lack of interest, mood out. When you are getting anxiety, then you are getting certain kind of negativity. Then later it will lead to depression because you are going down. If you are going up from normal, you are getting happy after excitement, elevated, then mania. Okay, so this is the way normal behavior is deviating from there, and we know how we can incorporate our behavior in a normal way. If it is not normal behavior, definitely there is a chance to have more obsessions. Okay, so if it is really an obsess towards your characteristics, definitely there is a possibility of a conscious behavior, but you don't keep yourself obsessed with your strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges. But you need to understand and you need to self-aware. Again, I am repeating the word, you need to aware. Okay, don't obsessed with the terms, but you need to aware about the words.
Sir, I think
yes, sir, Romy.
Yes, sir. I think Rohan is asking us, how are you supposed to know if you're as self-aware as you should be?
How are you supposed to know if you are self-aware as you should be? Self-awareness means, for example, you have to take your role as a person, okay, as an individual. For example, as an individual, as a son, or as a father, as a husband, as a faculty of Christ University, how I am looking at myself is the awareness. For example, what are the roles you have? You have to genuinely doing your role in a proper way. You can say that you are self-aware. Okay, it is depends on the context and the situation. If I am staying at my home and what are the things I am doing depends on the situation and environment at home, right? And if I am aware the things which is happening, for example, I had to aware that my son is a class, it's 12 o'clock. I had to make him ready for that. Okay, by 9 o'clock, my wife is leaving for work. I had to expect something need to be ready. For example, we had to finish our breakfast before 9 o'clock because he has class, or I have a class. Okay, the situation is demanding, and how you are making our role in that way is depends on our awareness. It is not that something very rocket science to introduce that awareness. No, everyone knows the things, but you are not practicing it in our day-to-day life situations. Again, I'm telling that it is not that easy to incorporate 100% self-awareness among our day-to-day life activities. But you need to understand the things, and you need to aware about the role what you are taking care based on the context and the environment and the situation. And depends on the situation, this will change. For example, if you are going for a ride, okay, is entirely different from how you are sitting at home. Okay, you are traveling through a thick forest alone. Okay, is entirely different how you are going to walking through a beach. The awareness is different. Maybe you have to aware about the environment while you are going through a lonely ride in a maybe a forest region or a valley. The situation is different. But while you're walking with your family in a beach, is entirely different. Your awareness is entirely different. So depends on the context, depends on the situation. You need to understand how you need to incorporate self-awareness.
Tarisha, let's hear one last question.
Yeah, I believe because of the time crunch, we may have to limit ourselves. So Zeal Palmer asks, after
a lot of questions, let me know how many questions I can take. One more questions, okay. Kaushal Prajapati is the last. Most people think they are self-aware, but the reality is often the other way around. How do we know the difference? Yes. So that's why I told it's a very good question, Kaushal. So most of the time people try to believe that I'm self-aware about it. But actually, are you really self-aware? You need to ask yourself. Because lack of self-reflection is the way how you are believing in a wrong thing. For example, people believe that I am self-aware. Are you really self-aware? If you are able to give answers, definitely you are self-aware. If you are not getting any answers, that means you are not self-aware. You are asking questions to you. You just sit for 5 minutes and ask some questions to you. And are you getting some answers from that? If you are getting answers, definitely you are self-aware. Okay, am I able to focus this one? I am able to complete this assignment within 1 hour. If you are getting an answer yes, and you are doing it, definitely you are self-aware. If you are not possible and you are procrastinating and you are doing the assignment next day, definitely there is a problem. And still you are believing that I am self-aware. I am able to do it. Right. Most of the time students are getting this problem. They will procrastinate and finally, yeah, sir, I had this problem, so network issue, so I will submit it after 1 hour. They are not going to agree, or they are not able to accept the thing that they were not able to complete the assignment within the stipulated time. Once you started accepting that, then only you are able to understand yourself and you are able to aware yourself. So acceptance is one thing, and also agreement, how you are keeping certain agreement in your personal life situation. Whatever experience you have, you should understand, should I agree with this? If you have a proper answer, if you are able to get certain kind of positivity out of it, or a positive outcome after doing the things, definitely you can say that you are self-aware, the things which is happening to you. Otherwise, you will believe, but that is not going to help you to perform in your future. Especially people are believing a lot. Maybe you have usually people say confidence is needed, but overconfidence is always make you down. Right? For anxiety, minimum anxiety required for better performance. That is required. It is minimum anxiety. That means seriousness of examination is required to have a better performance. Okay. If you have too much anxiety, too much seriousness about examination, you are not going to write properly during the exam time, right? Because that will make you worried. So instead of that, you need to think how much, where is the level? There is a level is there. That's why I told you need to understand the level where exactly which is helping you to move forward smoothly. But if it is overburdened to you, definitely there is a problem. If it is too much, definitely you need to get help from your peers or parents or teachers, or even though these people are not able to help you in terms of your anxiety or your difficulties, definitely you need to get a help from a professional, maybe therapist or a counselor or a professional, any professional. I'm not saying that is the doctor or a psychology counselor, but whoever able to help you to get rid of from that particular situation, you can seek help from that. Maybe a peer will able to a best friend will able to help you to sort out certain issues. Maybe some teachers will help you to sort out the issues. Sometimes your parents will help you to sort out some issues. You need to develop a skill to ask help. That is something which is missing nowadays. People never going to open up their mouth. They are not going to ask because they will have a tendency feel, if I'm asking a question, is it a right thing I'm doing? Whenever you are doing that, definitely you are actually limited yourself. Okay, but you need to open your mouth. You need to seek help, ask help from others to sort out the issues which is happening in your life. Then only you are able to aware yourself in a proper way. If you have a problem, if you understood as a problem, definitely you need to seek help from others. That is absolutely needed in the current situation. And with this note, thank you so much for the active participation of all the students, those who are engaged in this particular webinar. And I would like to thank Dr. Shiromi for the opportunities to interact with your students. And I really appreciated the way how people are responded, and they are really active and engaging throughout the session. And thank you so much. And over to you, Tarisha.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful insights. Thank you, all of you, the students, for participating. This brings us to the end of the question and answer section.
It is my privilege to extend the vote of thanks and express my gratitude to all present here today. First, I would like to thank the esteemed members of our management, Reverend Father Worky Pericket, the manager of the college, the principal, Reverend Father Rex Angelo, the vice principal, Reverend Father Sherry George, and vice principal and administrator, Reverend Father Raymond Carabin, for giving a forum to our vision of promoting self-awareness and extending their unwavering support. I would also like to thank our distinguished speaker, Dr. Sudesh NT, for taking time out of his busy schedule to be here with us today. Thank you, sir, for sharing your insights and valuable suggestions that will definitely help our student community to evaluate and understand themselves better. And it was definitely a very fun and informative session to attend. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Purvi Medatwal, head of our Department of Economics and Psychology, for always encouraging and helping us aim for higher standards of excellence. I also thank all faculty members for attending this interactive webinar. At the end, I would like to thank the students who were present for the webinar and making this session a huge success. I hope that it was a fruitful interaction which will help you discover more about yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so should I leave?
Just 1 second, if I could request everyone to turn on their cameras for a group photograph.
Please turn on your cameras.
If you could stop the presentation.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I will just stop my presentation.
No worries.
Okay. Yes.
So we have Purvi. She helps us with the photographs. So I think we've had the photograph. Yes, Purvi, is it done? Everyone has turned on their cameras?
Yes, ma'am. Just one more.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It's done. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good afternoon. Go and eat well.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, for any further questions,